Not much has happened since the last Kiwi EV video. I've topped up the windshield water reservoir, bought new tyres for the front of the car, built a house, and met up with the entrants to this year's E-Tour Europe when they passed through Slovakia on their epic road trip across the continent. The event included participants from several countries, including a team from Slovakia, using a wide variety of electric cars. And after meeting so many EV enthusiasts of all ages, it inspired me to create my own road trip. So I looked at the map for inspiration. From Bratislava I had several choices, but Austria's too close, so is Hungary, the Czech Republic's been done, so is Poland, but what about further east? Well, Ukraine's too big without a countrywide fast-charging network, but I think I found a compromise, so I headed down to the local police station. Now getting myself an international driving permit so I can drive outside the European Union. The next step in the process included a visit to my local Ukrainian consulate to pick up some paperwork. I filled out all the paperwork and sent it back, then waited 1 week before returning back to the consulate to get something I'd never thought I'd ever need: a visa to enter Ukraine.
I'm all prepared, got a visa.
Which means the adventure can now begin.
I'm standing here in Austria. Behind me is Slovakia. Behind that is Ukraine. And I'm going to make the journey from the Austrian border to the Ukraine border and back in an electric car. My electric car. So let's do it.
Our epic trip began at the Slovak-Austrian border near Bratislava at 5:30 in the morning. From here we'd be recharging in Trnava, then Nitra, then Motorest Zubor, then Banska Bystrica, then over the mountains to Ružomberok, then Poprad, then Prešov, then the second biggest city in Slovakia, Košice, where we'd need to recharge to full in order to make it here, the Slovak-Ukraine border. In Ukraine, we plan to stay in the border city of Uzhhorod before returning back to the Austrian border a day later. But with hundreds of miles ahead of us, relying entirely on the quick charging network, our journey was always going to be a series of unknowns. And the first quick charge of many was in the city of Trnava.
Alright, first charging station in the journey. A long journey.
We grabbed 20 minutes worth of electricity, which brought us up to 80% full, before heading the short distance to Nitra to grab another 20 minutes worth. By now my car's batteries were nice and warm and performing well.
Car is fast charging, air conditioning turns on automatically and redirects all the cold air of the batteries to keep them cool.
With the batteries charged again, we flew down the highway to the next charger at Motorest Zubor in the middle of nowhere, where we needed to charge the batteries closer to full in order to tackle the next big leg to the central Slovak city of Banska Bystrica.
I want 95% at least. Good. Not much to see, just highways, trucks. Of course I have to keep my speed down in order not to drain the battery pack, because this car isn't really designed for long distance driving. So I have to make sure that I stay around 90 kilometers per hour, just under, while trying not to hold up any traffic. We're on our last bar of battery, as you can see, and the mall with the fast charger is right in front of us. So I think we'll be just fine. It says we've got 4 kilometers of range to go.
We made it to the charger with almost no power left, so we plugged in and got ready to climb to Donovali, 1,000 meters above sea level.
So I'm going to do DC charging with options to allow me to pump it up beyond 80%.
With the car charging, we grabbed a quick bite to eat, then started our journey north.
The forecast, well, because it's spring, the forecast is all over the place, but I had hoped that it would be better weather. Still, it adds to the adventure factor, I suppose.
It was until Motorest Zubor it was sunny.
Yeah. But of course we are sort of in an alpine area now.
Yeah.
But we're about to climb up a long way up, and I'm a little concerned that we may not have enough electricity to get to Ružomberok. We'll see.
My brave little city EV climbed ever higher, but the battery indicator showed I had nothing to worry about, and eventually, with the rain turning to snow, we made it to the top.
We're in Donovali! We made it to the top of the mountains! Woohoo! Now we're going down! Now we can regenerate! It's freezing, it's snowing! Didn't plan for this. Let's go!
And before long we were in Ružomberok to top up.
We made it to Ružomberok. We're halfway to Ukraine. What a mega journey this is. But we're actually doing really well.
The next leg was 80 k's or 50 miles away, so we topped up more than 80% and got settled in for a long drive. At this point we were well past the halfway point and it was only just after midday, so we were feeling pretty optimistic about our prospects of reaching Ukraine. We ate up the miles of smooth tarmac, soaked up the stunning scenery and darted in and out of tunnels. And before long we'd arrived to our destination of Poprad to grab another charge before carrying on to the city of Prešov. And after a full day on the road, I found myself getting a little bit philosophical about why I'm making this journey and how cars like mine will soon be forgotten relics of the past.
Probably wondering why I'm doing this. Well, the fact is, no one's done it before, so I kind of want to be a bit of a pioneer. And the next question you're probably asking is, why this car? Why not take a long-range electric car? And if you're watching this in the future, yeah, sure, that makes perfect sense. But now, as of recording this, in 2016, there are no affordable long-range electric cars. They're coming, but at the moment there just aren't any. So this is all we've got. I hope one day people watching this years from now will look back and think, wow, people actually had low-range electric cars. Yeah, well, that's all the car makers would make. But things are changing.
We grabbed a quick charge in Prešov before making the short distance to Košice city, where we needed much more than 80% to make the final journey to Ukraine. So we hung around for 45 minutes until the battery had reached 96%.
95 kilometers to Ukraine. Oh, I'm a bit scared. Let's see how this goes.
The mood in the car was tense, and I had good reason to be worried. A storm had arrived, and we had many mountains to climb in an electric car that was designed to stay in the city.
We just won't stop going up and down hills. We've only just left the city, and we've already used 2 bars of electricity just because we are going up. Now we've just climbed up to 300 meters up in the air twice now and gone all the way down and up again. And of course it's pissing down, and the winds are strong as well. The guessometer says we're not going to make it, and we've only just begun.
We pressed on for 40 stressful minutes, watching the battery meter plummet, driving slowly up the steep mountain passes. But with slow driving and maximising the car's regenerative braking, things gradually improved.
By driving really slowly and holding up 5,000 cars, I've got the guessometer to increase its range now. So now it says we can do further than the distance to Ukraine. So watch this space. I'm more confident than I was, but I'm still not completely confident. 7 k's until the border. The absolute end of the European Union is just in front of me. This is it. This is the turn off. There's the border there. This is the border to Ukraine. Ooh, this is exciting. Gosh, we've done it, and we've got 3 bars of battery remaining too, but we're still going to get to a hotel, which is somewhere on the other side in Ukraine. This is so cool.
The novelty of getting a passport stamp soon wore off when we learned that we had a 2-hour wait ahead of us at both the Slovak then Ukrainian borders. But it wasn't entirely without its comedy moments, courtesy of a Slovak customs officer.
Litrov nadrží približne.
Toto je elektrické auto. Nepoužívam
Elektrické?
Hej.
The waiting and bureaucracy continued for another hour on the Ukraine side, and after 14 long hours on the road, we arrived at the city of Uzhhorod in western Ukraine. The next morning, thanks to a Russian colleague, I was able to ask the hotel reception where to charge my car like a native.
Здравствуйте. В моей машине блоки. В моей машине блоки. Электрический блок.
Once I'd regained my dignity and made a mental note to talk to my colleague on Monday, I plugged in the car and we went exploring Uzhhorod.
Розпрягайте, хлопці, коні, та й лягайте спочивать, а я піду в сад зелений, в сад криниченьку копать. Маруся раз, два, три, калина чорнявая дівчина в саду ягоди рвала. Маруся раз, два, три, калина чорнявая дівчина, саду ягоди рвала. Маруся раз, два, три, калина чорнявая дівчина, саду ягоди рвала.
It's 5:05 a.m. and we've just left the hotel in Uzhhorod, in Ukraine. Time to start the journey back.
Starting with a familiar routine.
A toto je elektromobil. Hej.
The journey back to the western border was smooth and the charging network was flawless. And in just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 quick charges, I was crossing the Danube River, then the Austrian border, being, as far as I know, the first person in Slovakia to complete such a journey.
And we are in Austria. We've done it. Mission successful. Let me just pull over here in Austria. A little bit different to entering Ukraine, I admit. 1,133.2 kilometers. Not bad. I just made history in this car. Fantastic. All right, I'm going home for a cup of tea. Good night.
There's Veronica's friend there. He's got his snacks. Now you watch. Take the thing, whatever it is. Take it, moisten it, put it in your mouth. Take it out. There you go. There's another one. Another one. Yeah, that's it. Chew it. Yeah, take it out.
Fun at the border.
Have another snack. No, not today. Take it out. There we go.